I know two of the guys are free agents this summer, Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris. Would you consider trading Embiid?
I would, because my opinion hasn't changed. He has physical issues that prevent him from being an MVP when you need him most consistently. Get you a game, but consistently game in and game out. And Stephen A., when you look at the Sixers, Butler's a free agent, Harris is a free agent. I've always said Simmons and Embiid coexisting won't be as good for either of them or their teams as Simmons and Embiid on different teams. So you have to decide who you're going to keep, and given age and health, I would keep Simmons.
Well, first of all, I disagree with you, but I'll get into that in a second. The one thing that makes me laugh about your position is that you talk as if it's like newsflash, breaking news. Joel Embiid was taken 3rd overall in the 2014 NBA draft because he was injured. Well, duh, the 2 picks before him was Andrew Wiggins and Jabari Parker. Of course he would have gone #1 if it wasn't for his injury. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. So we understand that coming out of Kansas, he's always had that injury with his foot, et cetera, et cetera. We get all of that. But here is my thing about Joel Embiid, and this is why my position about him has not changed. I think he's an elite talent who, by the way, has heart. He doesn't mind when healthy going up against anybody. He'll call you out, then he'll step on the court, and he'll try to give it to you. And in most instances, he will succeed. Here's why I would not consider trading him. Because, Max, even with his suspect health, what you saw from him in Game 3, even if you can get that sporadically, meaning inconsistently, it's still better than what most dudes can give you. And that's why I'm not letting that go. My focus would be on Ben Simmons. And Ben Simmons for this reason. I believe that Ben Simmons is a jump shot away from being a top 2, top 3 player in the entire league. I think his talents are that surreal. To be 6'10", a legit 6'10", to handle the ball the way that he does, to pass the ball the way that he does, to have the IQ that he does, and to defend and have the heart that he does. The problem is his impediment is a very, very, very significant thing in terms of his lack of a perimeter shot. So for me, I think there's more questions about Ben Simmons, but I will tell you, hold on, I'll let you speak. I will tell you that when it comes to Joel Embiid, I'm not thinking about moving him because I'm absolutely petrified of somebody else getting him and he's remotely more healthier than he's been. Then I messed up.
I'm not claiming it's an easy call. I'm not claiming it's easy. It's a very, very difficult call, and I thought about it carefully and early on thought you got to keep Embiid. He's too dominant. However, because you could lose Butler and Harris, and you have to pay them even if you don't, and then that caps you in certain ways. Who knows about Redick? And he's not a great player. He's just a great shooter and a good player, but he can't play defense. It really comes down to Embiid and Simmons, and I don't think together there is – yes, Stephen A.
I just want to give you some information from Philadelphia. I didn't mean to interrupt. Philadelphia says they could keep both. I do not believe them, Max.
Harris and Butler.
No, I'm sorry, Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler. They say they're willing to keep both. I don't believe them. I believe there may only be one, but I'm telling you, they're saying
they could, but who knows if they will? They could keep both. They could lose both. They could keep only one.
I'm just telling you what they said. They intend to keep both. That's
sure, who knows? But what's actually going to happen? But this is what I'm saying. If you look at the Greek Freak, they play 5 out. And he can drive and either bang it on you or find the open man because he's a great passer. He has floor vision. Well, Simmons has a lot of those same qualities. I'm not saying he'll be quite as good as the Greek Freak, but a lot of same qualities. I think, but with Embiid there, a big in the middle, it doesn't work as well. That's why I think they're both better off without each other. Give Simmons his own team. Now, I want to show you a graphic, Stephen A.
Okay.
I prepared just for you.
Wow.
Look at Giannis and look at Simmons. At the same age, do we have that? At age... Now, what is this? 21. Look at that. Virtually identical. Points, rebounds, assists. Actually, Simmons is doubling Giannis. But the field goal percentage, the PER, Simmons a little bit ahead. The usage rate is the same. That's almost an identical player. Where there's an advantage, it's actually to Ben Simmons. Now let's look at age 22 season. What's the difference? So they come in naturally at a certain level. Look at the difference. Part of this, you might say, Giannis is working harder maybe, or Giannis wants it more. I'm not going to just discount that, right? Yeah. But part of it is, I believe, the PER and the usage rate, right? Part of it is They built a team around Giannis, and it enabled him to develop. Ben Simmons is put in the dunker spot, right? Like, that's how Brown has figured this out. He put him in the dunker spot and taken the ball out of his hands. That's bad for Ben Simmons. Ultimately, it's bad for the Sixers. You must make a choice. Do you want Simmons or Embiid? Given injury, I'm taking Simmons.
Well, here's where I believe that I'm not going to say that you're wrong, but here's where I believe you're not telling the whole story. What's really the difference between the Greek Freak now and a year ago? How about Mike Budenholzer? The fact of the matter is, we're talking about the coach of the year. We're talking about a coach of the year. What do we rave about with San Antonio? Oh, my God, how they're developing players. So now, listen, this is a very hard subject for me because I can't emphasize this enough. I genuinely like Brett Brown, and I'm rooting for him. But who has he developed? Do we see, is there a particular player, anybody on the 76ers roster, that we look at and definitively say we've witnessed their development and growth? Who is it that we say that about?
That's a good
we
point,
can say
Stephen
that.
A.
We've said that about Budenholzer when he was in Atlanta. That's why he got the Milwaukee job. We've said it about Greg Popovich and his crew in San Antonio. Brett Brown comes from that tree. And at no time have we looked at a member on the Sixers roster and we've said that player has really, really developed. So is it really about the player or is it about the system and the development?
And rap in my ear.
Two things quick. I've heard Jimmy Butler's out of there. We'll see.